Welcome to Wager Talk. Scott Spreitzer here with Dave Cokin, the man of the hat, now at wagertalk.com. You can follow him at Dave Cokin. And, of course, Matt Holt. He is the Vice President of Business Development, CGT Sportsbooks Las Vegas. Check him out at Matthew Holt, VP, on Twitter. I'm at Scott Wins. Almost forgot. He's got so many titles and so many initials.
You started to do an Ed Orgeron impersonation. It's perfect. That leads us into this game.
It's tough doing Eddie Orgeron. I don't even know what he's saying half the time.
That's
Apparently,
the point.
neither does his team.
I retweeted something today. In fact, it's hilarious. Okay, all I can say
like caveman speak. I've seen this floating around.
I don't even know. I just retweeted it. If you follow me on Twitter at Dave Cokin, it's there and you'll crack up. Okay?
I've seen it floating around on Facebook and on Twitter.
It's
and I think it's the same thing.
It's supposed to be Orgeron speaking at a post-game press conference, and it's just hilarious.
Well, see, then that's what I was doing. I didn't mess up. I was just impersonating Ed Orgeron for that, seamless segue into LSU versus Florida. SEC action, of course, in this game. And I'm going to mention the offshores for just a second, Dave, because of something that you did with this game. The Vegas books, Matt Holt, they did it right. They put up the right number at -4. Of course, the Florida Gators being the home favorite here. But the offshores the night before hung a bad number, 6.5. The thing is they kept it 6.5, 10 to 12 hours overnight, Sunday night into Monday morning. My raw power ratings say that 6.5 is too big. My raw power rating said that a field goal is about right.
Terrible number.
And so you jumped on it early, and then you kind of maybe middled the thing during the week.
I completely middled the thing because I don't have an opinion on the game. I don't know what to make of LSU right now. I mean, they're playing some horrendous football. Excuse me. Ed Orgeron is a great recruiter, tremendous assistant, but he's just not a head coach at a big-time program. Somebody equated this to giving a middle wage earner a Ferrari and having him drive it directly into a phone pole. Okay? So I saw that on Twitter as well. There's some funny stuff on Twitter. So here's what I did with this football game. Because I don't like Florida either with their quarterback situation. But that doesn't mean I don't have a bet on the game. In fact, this will end up being, from a betting standpoint, my biggest wager of the week in terms of what I might be able to win, but not in terms of what I can lose. That 6.5 was ridiculous. And this is why I tell people all the time, look, you have to make your own numbers.
Sure.
If you can't make your own numbers, use somebody else's. But you've got to have good numbers because what they're going to do is they are going to guide you to where the line is likely to move during the week because a lot of the sharp guys out there are number crunchers. And if you can determine power ratings compared to what actual betting lines are and get a feel for where lines are likely to go, you can set yourself up for some very advantageous betting situations. So Sunday night, this thing's sitting out there, and I do have accounts offshore. I never use them because that would be illegal. But
entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, right. For amusement purposes only, I decided to wager some points on LSU +7. I bought it to 7 at -115 or -120. I think there was some of each, actually, because one of the shops deals nickel lines. So and with the full intent, I'm going to wait and see how much I can get better than that on Florida. And as it turned out, I was hoping for 4. Mm-hmm. It's gotten as low as -3. I don't think it'll drop below that. I'll find out from Matthew what he thinks about that because I did jump back in and take the -3 now. So I've got a +7 and a -3, which gives me a great middle and even 2 sides on the end at 7 and 3. Good chance to pick up some money if it's a close game. And if not, I just lose a very small amount.
Here's my problem, Matt. There ain't no way that I'm taking LSU plus a field goal. No way, no how, ain't going to happen. They got crushed by Mississippi State, who hasn't been able to stop anybody since. They go into last week's game, 3-touchdown favorite. They get beat outright at home by Troy, paid a whole lot of money to get beat by the Troy Trojans. And now you got a situation where the line is 3. Do you expect it to go back up at all? I'm actually going to be a little surprised if it goes below 3.
So this is a scenario where at 4 we thought we might get two-way action. We didn't. We got completely one-sided action on LSU at 4 all the way down to 3. But normally at 3, this is a spot where you'd expect to see some buyback, especially where some of these numbers were earlier, and we didn't see that Florida sharp buyback yet, which makes me a little nervous in this situation. And I think you can make a bad case for both these teams. Look, the Florida win over Tennessee looks less and less impressive now. Sure. The Florida win over a Kentucky team who barely got by Eastern Michigan looks less and less impressive now. So it's hard to figure both these teams out. To your point, Luke Del Rio, the Florida quarterback, back out. They're back having to go with Felipe Franks now. So there's some uncertainty there, but there's a lot of question marks about both these teams. The one good thing, I guess, for LSU is they do get their top running back this week. Maybe their offense can get going. But this
They rolled up 470 on Vandy. That wasn't bad. They rolled up almost 500 yards on Vandy. So
I mean, Florida looked good. For them to put up 38 last week
Right.
on a really strong defensive team, and this is a Vanderbilt team, I think this week's in a perfect spot at home. Georgia coming off the huge win over Tennessee. A slightly inflated number now. Georgia's stock is as high as it could be. But, yeah, this is a really interesting game between two teams that were supposed to be SEC powerhouses this year that are really kind of floundering. But at the end of the day, Florida's playing for an SEC East championship.
Sure.
They're still 3-1. They only have one loss. The only loss still at this point for the Gators is in the opening one to Michigan, so they haven't lost an SEC game. I actually think there's some value here with Florida at home in a game where they need to keep winning to keep pace with Georgia in that SEC East.
And here's what we know. The Florida Gators, they may be struggling a little bit at times on the offensive side of the football, but they're on the same page. I heard Monday Eddie Orgeron saying that, he was saying, I got it. My job now is, if you can understand his English, my job now is to keep this entire team on the same page. Basically, keep from losing this team. Maybe he has. Wednesday morning, there was a report came out that Eddie Orgeron, the coaches, and the administration had a meeting Wednesday morning before practice. There might be buyouts coming at the end of this season in Baton Rouge.
It's 12
yeah, I
million.
saw that. That might be coming at Baton Rouge later this season. For me, it's Florida or nothing at this point at 3. All right, guys, don't forget Thursday night podcast, both college football and the NFL. Me, Marco D'Angelo, Dave Cokin, Matt Holt joins us to give us the behind-the-counter perspective. Again, those are up late Thursday night, early Friday morning, goes right into kickoff on Saturday and Sunday. Those are our Wager Talk podcast each and every week. More videos to come. We are Wager Talk TV.